Well, hello there, my design divas on Facebook. Hello there, my gorgeous design lovelies on Instagram. It is so great to be here with you guys. I am Donna Hoffman. They call me the interior design advocate because I advocate on behalf of design lovers everywhere to help put an end to the ugly room, to put an end to the unhappy moment in your design life. And I do that with the amazing online courses that I teach. I'm getting hearts and love on that already. We have a phenomenal tribe. We call you guys our design divas. You're design lovers, you're savvy women, you like working on your own home. And we even have women who are young in the interior design in the interior design industry following us as well. And it's such a joy to be here with you. So as you might know about me already, or maybe a little clue behind me, you see this fabric library, or a little piece of our fabric library. I actually own a luxury interior design company in the Philadelphia region of the United States. And of course we can design anywhere, and we do. And we work largely on beautiful, luxurious residential projects. So when we are not designing those projects, we love to come out here and talk to you, my lovelies, to answer questions or to teach a lesson. Every Tuesday at 4 p.m., we're out here. And I had asked you last week, listen, should we skip this week because of it's election day, and this is a really charged moment in the United States. I know we have people following us from all over the world. But you guys said, no, we want the diversion. We want to be out here. So I don't know why the closer we've gotten to this election, the more stressed I have felt, the more hungry I have felt. What up with that? I said, no, that's enough with this snacking. And I just woke up feeling stressed this morning. So I thought, well, go to the old adage that we have here in our design company. The bigger the stress, the better the dress. So I'm not dressed up, but I am wearing a new pair of boots. There they are. I went with the white boot trend thing. There it is. So when in doubt, when you are stressed, put on a favorite pair of socks. I don't know what, favorite pair of shoes. Maybe it'll help. I don't know. All right, listen, lovelies. Let's talk about design. I would love to know, what is your favorite design platform of all of the information platforms that you're using? Because that's what we're talking about today. The topic is called HGTV Love and HGTV Lies. How to use the design platforms, all of them, the right way and not get sucked under in that undertow. So as I'm teaching, I'd love for you to just write in now and tell me, are you mostly an Instagram person? Are you mostly HGTV? Or are you Pinterest? Or are you House? Are you blogs? Are you design magazines? Just whatever are your faves, wherever you're going for your design information, just pop those in. I want to know, because I'm going to share with you now an industry statistic that was released that I thought was really interesting. It was in one of the, oh, and by the way, later I'll take your project questions. So it's like a free-for-all today. Usually I only take questions on the topic, but this is a softer topic in some ways, so I'll take your project questions as long as I don't need to see a picture to be able to answer you well. So the design platforms. There was an article in Home Accents Today, which is a design industry trade paper, and it was breaking down consumer behavior, that's you, design consumers, where savvy design lovers like you are getting the most of your information. And there was a long time where HGTV was the hottest ticket. That was where everybody was spending more of their time. About 40+% of design lovers were spending their time on HGTV, moreover than the other platforms. Well, what has started to happen, Instagram has overtaken that. In fact, Instagram and Pinterest are now the two places that, according to this study, that you guys are spending the most time. That doesn't mean you're not spending time on the other platforms, but Insta and Pinterest are the places you're spending more of your energy, statistically speaking, across the US. That's where the study was done. And I thought that was really interesting, because the type of information you get in these different platforms is specific to that platform, and you need to know that, and you need to make sure that you're not getting sucked into what I call the undertow. So let's talk about the different platforms and how to use them really well. Steve Hoffman, if you love me as much as I think you do, could you open the window? Just a smudge. Girl's getting hot. Okay, well anyway, that breeze is so nice. Oh, so good. I'll just pick up this carpet sample and do a little fanning here. All right, so isn't that cute carpet? Little something, a little blue leopard going into somebody's home soon. Anyway, when you're talking about how the platforms work, Instagram, Pinterest, and Houzz, yes, these are good idea mediums, but really Pinterest is considered on the other side of the table, the non-consumer side. It's considered one of the key search engines that design brands like to use to reach you, to reach your gorgeous brain. So Pinterest is used as a search engine wildly so across all over the world. People put in searches to try to find certain things, if you will. Is there a problem? No, it's just information. People are putting in information, doing searches, and purchasing. About 70% of people on Pinterest are actually shopping and purchasing things. Houzz has started a number of years ago. They aggravated the interior design community because Houzz started to use designer portfolios, which they asked us to tag with product, and then they would give a link to those products so consumers could then buy things. And the reason some people in the interior design industry were a little upset, they were saying, you know, I put this room together. Now Houzz is making a commission off of this room that I created by selling the product. But that's a whole other rabbit trail. I won't go down into that road. But I will tell you, I did watch a slew of designers walk out on a Houzz presentation at the Design Influencer Conference about 3-4 years ago. But anyway, not talking about that. Anyway, so Houzz and Pinterest are really big platforms for purchasing. Can you purchase on Instagram? You can, but for the most part, Pinterest, Houzz really have that fairly well wrapped up. Instagram is a great way, as is Pinterest, I think a terrific way for you to discover new brands. What do I mean by that? Well, people, designers, are tagging brands in their work or giving a shout out to brands. If you're following a designer that you like, if you're following a brand you like and they're giving a shout out to other brands that are pictured in a photo, it's a great way for you to find brands. I just found a wonderful art gallery in the Philadelphia region for a project on Instagram. Found a wonderful artist who does commissioned work down in Dallas, and I'm up in Philadelphia. So, and that was all on Instagram. So by doing that deep dive, going down the rabbit hole, following somebody and then seeing, oh, who do they follow? Or, oh, who's commenting on that designer? Who's commenting on that brand? I like that aesthetic. And then you start to see new resources that might be of interest to you. So Instagram, Pinterest, and Houzz, great for ideas. Pinterest and Houzz, really good for purchasing if that's what you're trying to do. And Insta and Pinterest are terrific if you're trying to discover new resources. Well, what about HGTV? What about blogs? What about those? What's the upside and then the downside? Well, the upside is for all of these platforms, it's a lot of inspiration, right? A lot of inspo, which is great. The downside is that HGTV has to smush everything down into a 30-minute episode. Less commercials, it's really 20 minutes of airtime. Blogs have to squish everything down into 300 to 500 words. I will tell you that it takes approximately 45 seconds to 1 minute to say 300 words. Not a lot of information I can impart to you in a minute. That's my opening. That's when I say, hey, Design Divas, how are you? I'm Donna. And, what up? What'd you have for breakfast this morning? Right? Not a lot of content there. So with both HGTV, because they have to shrinky-dink everything down to fit into that segment, as well as blogs, information is really watered down. The meat is sucked right out of it, the deep content, and things are kind of dumbed down. So you can get little snippets and partial information and pieces of a story. So that's the danger of those. Why do I know that blogs are 300 to 500 words? Because I'm a blogger and I go to the design, now it's called the Design Influencer Conference, but it was the Design Blogger Conference. And to get people to follow you on your blog, you had to have blogs that have good content, good images, and they can't be too long because people don't like to read too much. That's why 300 to 500 words is the magic number. And I will tell you, writing something at 300 words is hard. It's hard to say that little about a meaningful and deep topic like design. So the upside of HGTV and blogs, they're entertaining, like all of the platforms are. HGTV is a moving platform, right? You get to see these before and afters and hear people talking about things or talking directly to camera. That's all exciting, but things get dumbed down and things get misleading on HGTV when you think about donated product, donated services. What? Yes. So that a designer can get his or her face on that TV screen, they will be volunteering a little bit of time. And they'll be working overtime. And same thing with the construction crew. You'll see the lower third chyron will say, you know, it's 9 o'clock at night on Friday. This project is going overtime. Trust me, none of your subcontractors on your new home build, on your renovation, are working at 9 o'clock on a Friday night or 11 a.m. on a Sunday morning. Not happening. And also on HGTV, sometimes things get very crafty, craft driven in an idiosyncratic way. You really cannot have a rug made out of mop heads that will function well for a family of 4, right? It just doesn't work. It's creative, you know, as on a design competition, but it doesn't mean anything for you as an end user, right? Do not try this at home. I remember seeing a young design team show on HGTV. They had, because the family they were designing for was very budget pressed, they made a dining room console by stacking milk crates and then covering it with cloth. Well, one good smack into that thing by the family golden retriever or a 3-year-old toddler, and there would be you know, an injury, a problem happening, right? So that's what I mean by idiosyncratic, or some just weird, odd design choices. So take some of what you see in these more out of the box kind of HGTV programs that are more about infotainment, not necessarily going to work across the board for you in your home as well. And then of course are magazines and books. The whole thing with magazines and books, and one of the reasons they're becoming, I don't want to say obsolete, but they're becoming a little more obsolete. They're very one-sided. It's what the editor decided that you should see, and that's it. You bought a book on mid-century modern, that's it. It begins and ends there. Oh, you bought a book on, you know, farmhouse, begins and ends there. Meanwhile, over on Pinterest, over on Instagram, over in House, you can go from farmhouse to mid-century modern to rustic to Hollywood glam. You can just keep zipping all over the place, right? So books, magazines, it's kind of a slower, more intimate, snuggle up kind of experience, right? But if you need information, you need information fast, you are probably going to be using some of the other design platforms. Here are 2 cautions I'll give you across all of the platforms. Beware of idea overload. That's when you have idea upon idea on House, Pinterest, Instagram. You've got ideas, but you are clueless when it comes to how to do it, what to do, when to do it, why you're doing it, when and how, right? All of that. You're just missing on that. So you just keep spinning your wheels, gathering more information, but never moving ahead. That's why I have all my wonderful courses at the Interior Design Advocate. That's why we empower design lovers like you to move the needle and make things happen. Also with these platforms, be careful of compare and despair. You know what I mean by that? Compare and despair. It's a no upside game where you look at everybody else's home and it looks perfect and beautiful, and then you look around at your place and think, is that all there is? Watch it. Use those mediums the way they should be used for inspo, but don't get caught up into compare and despair. Images are fluffed, puffed, airbrushed, and yes, there are beautiful residences there. I have my work in these mediums, but believe me when I tell you that the stack of mail and all the stuff and the winter coat isn't, you know, strewn all about the kitchen when we photograph the kitchen, and a lot of the small appliances are taken out of the kitchen as well. So it's just beautiful for a photograph. Okay, so no compare and despair. It's like me looking at Instagram of these gorgeous 20-year-old, you know, skinny minis. I think I weighed what some of those girls weighed when I was born. Okay, so forget about it. Don't go down that path. There's just no win. And then lastly, beware of shiny penny syndrome, where you think, oh, that's a good idea, I'm going to do that. Oh, wait a minute, that's a good idea. Oh, look at this. And you just keep chasing idea and idea, and you don't ever make any decisions, okay? I call that shiny penny syndrome. So A lot to love about the design platform that's out there. The biggest caution for the entire DIY machine is that it does mislead, it oversimplifies design, and it causes a lot of stress because of that for really smart, really talented, really creative design lovers just like you, which is why I invented my brand, the Interior Design Advocate, so I could stop the overwhelm using my online courses and the strategies that I teach. Okay? That's all I got for you. All right, lovely. So let me see what you are doing. Steve, I'm not flashing anymore. So if you want to leave the window closed, I'm freezing this poor man out. Okay, there it is. So let's see who's here. I'll take your questions, but I want to see who's doing what here. Okay. So here's what the group has been saying on Insta. Instagram is the most popular, then Pinterest, then House, then HGTV, then Windy City Rehab, then magazines. Wow, you guys are the article. I'm so impressed. Let's see what everybody's saying here in Facebook land. All right, I'm getting hello there, sweet lady, from Denise. Hi, Denise. Hello from Stone Mountain, Georgia, from Shelly. Hi, Shelly. Margaret's here from Delaware, and Joe is here as well. Joe said she's so glad she's here to settle her nerves. Joe, go put on a good pair of something, good pair of shoes when this is all over. That'll settle your nerves more. Susan is saying, oh no. Oh, I shouldn't laugh. Susan, I don't know why. You hit my funny bone. Susan just said, today's like waiting for a biopsy. It's great to be here with everybody. I know. I hear you. We'll talk about all this later. Okay. Margaret loves the boots. Thank you, Margaret. Okay. So Celeste is saying she's HGTV. Debbie's Pinterest. Megan Dowell is House, Pinterest, and Instagram. Margaret is old school. She's Design Magazine. Yay, Margaret. I'm Sunday afternoon cup of tea magazine. How do you not enjoy curling up? Watching, seeing what Veranda has to say. Okay, so we've got magazines and catalogs, HGTV and magazines, Pinterest, Instagram. So my Facebookers, you are more Pinterest, House, HGTV. My Instagrammers, understandably, are more IG, more Instagram, Pinterest than House. Okay, Judy's saying, I always compare what other designers display to what you teach. I really only follow your principles. Yay, Judy, I'm so glad. Cece is saying hello from Madison, Virginia. Linda likes House, and she follows numerous designer Instagrams. Yep, I think that's what a lot of you are doing as well. Judy's saying she can never figure out how and what to buy from Pinterest. All right, so I'm getting lots and lots of HGTVs, Instagrams. Okay, so there it is. So Marisha is saying Donna is so realistic, one of her great qualities. Thank you, Marisha. I don't think I said your name right. Marcia, I apologize. All right, so here's a question. If you guys want to ask design questions, have at it. We're going general today. I figured this would be a good way to take out the election stress for everybody. Angela Culbert is saying, do designers dislike House on Instagram because they cannot mark up the price of items? I would mark up the products because the customer is hiring. I would mark up the products because the customer is hiring you to make the selections. Did you write that down right? Did Angela say I would mark up or I would not mark up? Here's what I have to. I would. She would not. Yes.
Wait. I would mark up.
She would mark up. Yeah. So here's the way I look at it. I run a for-profit company. I am not a non-for-profit company. The way I price my product that I sell service and product. We sell service and product. And if you want our company to design for you, this is the way you do business with us. I don't share what my markup is just because I'm a business. I don't think I have to, right? Your dentist put a little teeny piece of amalgam into your tooth as a filling. And I'm sure he charged you what he charged you, what he felt was fair market value. You didn't say to him, well, that only cost you $20, that amalgam. Why am I paying you several $100s? You also don't ask Nordstrom when you bought the great boots that I'm wearing today, hey, what's your markup? Why am I paying you markup? Businesses run as businesses run. Designers charge in a myriad of ways. There are designers who only charge service, and they'll go shopping with you at retail, at the retailers you can have access to. There are designers who charge their fee and then also will give you access to their purchasing, and then they'll mark that up to a certain degree. There are designers who take MSRP and provide that to you. And they really look at themselves as a purchasing agent. I think every designer has to do what he or she feels is best and works for her or his clientele. Let's get real here, guys. Hiring a designer is a luxury. It is. You don't have to drive a Mercedes to get to work. If you need to drive a car to get to work, there's no bus or train or plane that'll get you there. You need a car, but you don't need a Mercedes. Hiring a designer is a luxury, right? You don't, that generally is, that population that's hiring designers have some degree of discretionary income. Now, do they want excellent value? You better believe they do. What I always say about my design company is I believe, bar none, we are the very best return on invested dollar to any other design team out there, because I know that my systems, my processes, and my design, it's all impeccable. So that comes at a fee. So Angela, you raise a great point. I know there are design consumers who are very passionate about how they think designers should charge. I've never told my attorney or my accountant, also knowledge workers, how they should charge. So I don't let people tell me how to charge. I look at it this way. If you're a designer and you're watching this, my feeling is this: nobody has to like your fees. Nobody has to like your processes, the design process that you take people through. If they don't like your fees and your process, they shouldn't be your client. And that's the end of that. So Angela, I hope I answered that well. And if you have a follow-up question, feel free to put it in. In fact, Angela, next week we are actually talking about, for those of you who do want to, up your game as designers, or if you want to become a designer, next week's topic is becoming a paid interior designer as a side gig or full-time business. What is holding you back? Next week, becoming an interior designer as a side gig or full-time business, what's holding you back? Okay, keep the questions coming. I love these. I love having these discussions with you guys, honestly. Love it. Okay, so Marcia is saying she gets into idea overload, which makes things more complicated. Okay, Barb is saying way off topic. Barb, there is no topic today, so that's why you can ask anything. She said, I'm shopping for vanities without breaking the allowance budget. Do you mean like in a bathroom vanity? Is that what you mean? Not a little makeup vanity? You know what I would do? Who did I just see? We were at Market and High Point, and some manufacturers are starting to do these kind of all-in-one, sink and cabinet. I think it was Ambella Home. You can see where those are sold. Maybe that would be lower cost than doing it all separately. The problem is when the plumbing fixtures are included. I've heard plumbers complain about the quality of the plumbing fixtures when the faucets are included. But I don't know enough about the plumbing issues that these lower end faucets are leading to, so I can't comment on that. But maybe you can find a furniture manufacturer that's going in that area. And if anybody has any input to help, Barb, just throw it in there and I'll give her that resource. We'll have the other Design Divas helping you on your shopping there, Barb. Okay, Debbie's here from Alabama. The party can start. Alabama in the house. Hello, Debbie. Okay, other questions. People are still telling me what you're watching. A lot of House, a lot of Pinterest. Okay, Jeannie is saying, can you repeat some of those magazines you mentioned earlier? Oh yeah, I love Veranda. There's just a big spread with Miles Red. But remember I said magazines get very editorial? The whole magazine, this most recent issue, very maximalist, intensely colorful. You're either going to love it or go, open a window. So I do like Veranda. It's probably one of my faves. Of course, I like Architectural Digest. I like House Beautiful. I like Lux magazine. I think it's beautiful, beautiful work in Lux. We were so happy to be published in Lux when we won an award there recently. I would say Veranda, though, is kind of hanging steady as one of Veranda and Arc Digest are probably two of my fave magazines. So hopefully that will help you. And you know what? There are magazines that have shuttered. They've closed they've gone out of business. Who was it? Not Better Homes. I think it was Better Homes. Somebody closed last year, and they just hired a bunch of Instagrammers to write for them. They fired their whole editorial staff. So the magazine business has been hurting for a while. Okay, Susan is saying, what are your thoughts on painting furniture to refresh the space? I'm thinking of trying Fusion mineral paint. I love painting furniture to refresh a piece of furniture. Guys, furniture is expensive. And if you can do something to a piece that you just cannot stand any longer by changing the color. If you've been with me before, you've heard this story. If you haven't been, bears repeating. I remember hearing, I was at a CPE course at class, and a leading furniture designer that has worked with some of the top brands, iconic brands in the United States, was talking about the process of furniture design. And she said, 9 times out of 10, if we have a total lemon in the line, we release the newest offerings in let's say case goods, wood furniture, and one piece that we all thought was going to be great, and it just tanks. Designers don't buy it, consumers don't want it, nobody wants it. What do we do? Do we pull it out of the line? She said, no, we change the color. And 9 times out of 10, when we change the color, suddenly we have the biggest hit on our hands. That's how powerful color is in terms of the way you perceive a piece of furniture, the feeling, the mood, the vibe. So I love it. And I don't think when you change the color on a piece of furniture, it has to necessarily be a neutral. Why not go for a vivid, beautiful emerald green, or a really bright navy, or a fantastic goldenrod, or a beautiful blush? So many things you can do. So many things you can do. So I bless it, Susan. Go for it. Joe is saying, I don't want to sound snooty. Uh-oh, does this mean Joe's going to sound snooty? Joe is saying, I don't want to sound snooty, but I can't seem to find high-end furniture on Pinterest or Insta. Yeah, where do you find high-quality, unique furniture? Well, Joe, I don't know your budget, but I'm just going to start naming brands. Some of these brands, are crazy pricey. Baker furniture. Baker, Hickory chair. Baker and Hickory chair. Kravet, they all do case goods and upholstery. You guys know what case goods are, right? You've been with me long enough, you know that's the wood furniture. Century Furniture, all of these brands are manufacturing their upholstery in the United States and their case goods in the United States. Ambella Home is probably an interesting hybrid brand. They are manufacturing their upholstery in the US, but they are bringing in from overseas their case goods, but very high, I thought very, very good quality. Then there are a ton of private label brands that we use in the interior design industry as well. But those are like the high-end guys. Then the middle guys that do beautiful product, middle in the interior design industry would be the Vanguard. Vanguard also now makes their own upholstery here in the United States. Hickory White makes their own upholstery in the US, but a lot of their case goods, I believe, are coming in from overseas. I'm trying to think of who else we saw during market, that brands that you guys would know. Lily in August, also product, the upholstery product is manufactured in the United States, but the case goods are largely coming in from overseas. Case goods that are made in the United States just cost more. It's bench made, it's different types of materials being used, longer processes, etc. But just because product is coming in from overseas doesn't mean it is not a quality product, a quality veneered product, but there is a larger spread. And as I've taught in my courses, as I've taught you guys here, the lower on the pricing chain that you go in furniture, the more you trade out quality and manufacturing to be able to hit that price point. So you just have to kind of keep your eyes open and know, well, what's important? You might say, well, it's a living room end table, so it's not important to me to have the highest end table because it's off in a corner between the love seat and the sofa. I got this corner to fill. All right, I'm going to go downstairs a little bit on that piece so I can put a little more money into, I don't know, the window coverings or my whatever, my sofa. All right, hopefully I helped you there, Joe. Joanne is saying, someday can we cover decor with real house plants, planters, plant stands? I have too many plants after propagating new seedlings during the first lockdown. That's so good. And I don't know what to do. We should do that. Yes, in fact, my fiddly fig Stanley, I gave him a haircut, and I'm doing a little new baby Stanley. I'm going to give him to Katie or somebody in our design company. So yeah, we should do something on plants. I thought we did something on plants, but Steve, would you make a note? We should throw. We're putting together our our calendar for 2021. So maybe we'll throw houseplants on there. I like it, Joe. Barb is saying, I was lost during the color lesson, but your explanation with the photo examples were key. I don't know what we're talking about, but okay, good. Joe Collins is saying she loves Veranda, House Beautiful, and Art Digest, Architectural Digest. I am learning, Barbara's saying, I'm learning so much from the design courses that I offer, that Don offers. We're building a home and I feel empowered. Yeah, Barbara, I love that. Love when my design love and divas are feeling empowered. It's so much better than, you know, dragging your wings thinking, man, am I going to screw up this residence, or am I going to screw up this house or this apartment, or boy, did I just waste X number of dollars. Trust me, I don't want to see that happen for any of you. That's why I started the brand, The Interior Design Advocate. I know that for a myriad of reasons, there are reasons that people don't hire designers. It's not right for your values. You'd rather put your money into something else, vacations or college or savings, or you worked with a designer and you had a miss, or it just doesn't work for your budget. They're all valid reasons. And I didn't want one more woman in the United States or beyond to ever feel bad about the way your home looked or felt. And I didn't want one more woman to ever feel like that beautiful home is something someone else should have. I'll never have that. No. You are, each and every one of you, so much more talented and capable than you even realize. I don't care what the budget is. I don't care. If you are not using strategy, forget about it, as they say in Brooklyn. Forget about it. Not going to work. You have to know what you're doing, especially to control the dollars, to control the spend. It just is what it is. Anyway, back to your question. Sorry. Getting hearts and flowers on that one. Thank you. Veronica is saying, are there rules for mixing artwork? Oh, love this question, Veronica, you smart, gorgeous woman, you. I have pictures from travels and other more historical pictures, but not enough walls. Any suggestions for mixing artwork? Yes. So I want you to place your things, don't hang them, and stand back and start moving things around. Like what do you think sits well with other items? What pieces sit well together? Within the vicinity of each other. Can you create a better marriage by reframing something? That can sometimes make a big difference. Or rematting something. People screw up matting a lot. Those mats should be really kept simple unless you're trying to make a matting statement, like in a child's room, you want pink mats or something. But for fine art, you're not going to see matted with color. That said, Veronica, not every piece of artwork looks good next to every other piece of artwork. You've got to decide what needs a home that's not in the living room where you used to have it. Maybe you brought in something else and now a piece that you had there might now need to go up to the master bedroom or into your home office. There is an art to hanging art. There is. You need to look at what is the context of that piece of art in your room. From a subject matter perspective, from a pattern perspective, from the perspective of the colors in it. Are you trying to make a statement with it? The artwork can absolutely screw up a room. Should I tell you this? I'm going to tell you this. The Design Influencer Conference 2 years ago, there are these breakout sessions that designers can go to. And there was one session called, I'm just the messenger. Don't shoot the messenger. It was called What to Do When You Hate Your Client's Artwork. So, you know, you've designed this fantastic room that the client loves, that you love, and then some awful piece of art goes in there. And the answer was Photoshop something else in. That was the whole answer. Artwork is so individual. There are things that you love that your hubs will look at and go, ugh, who wants that? There'll be subject matters that, I remember when Steve and I were first married, there was something I saw in a vintage gallery near our home, and I told Steve about it. He said, please, I don't like that subject matter. I prefer not to have that subject matter in our home. So I didn't get it. And I lived with it. I lived with not getting it, and it's okay. We found other pieces that we both loved. So there's a lot to take into account, Veronica, but I look at artwork this way. Just as every piece of clothing in your closet does not look good together, even though individually they're all great pieces, that's kind of how you have to look at your artwork, right? Not everything looks great with absolutely everything else. Oh, Steve Hoffman is reminding me about this great artwork guide. Well, it is great. I wrote it, so am I allowed to say that? It is a guide. It's called The Ultimate Guide to Home Art. that what it's called? The Ultimate Guide to Home Art. I think we changed the title so many times. I thought, okay, I called it something, the wrong thing initially. If you would like to find this guide, I think it's like $27. It's called mydesigncpr.com/artwork. mydesigncpr.com/artwork. And that guide really dives into how to create artwork when you don't already own any, how to find it, how to source it. It's a good guide. But I go into the context of selecting art in that guide, but I don't necessarily go into what looks good with what, Veronica. Have I helped you, Veronica, or have I confused you? I think I'm doing election day babbling. Last 2 questions according to Senor Hoffman. The reason Katie is not here, she's working the polls today, so I have Esteban Hoffman here with me. 2 last questions. Here we go. Denise is saying, I'm seeing a lot of T-style desks layouts. T-style desks layouts in house. Is this the new style in home offices? I don't even know what you mean by a T-style desk. I apologize. I'm so sorry that I guess I'm not up with the T-style desk trend. I don't know. What is a T-style desk? I'm apologizing. Can't ask you that. Can't answer you that. Stephanie is saying, are you saying Vella or Bella? Who, me? What? Oh, we already wrote back. Steve already wrote back. Joe is saying, what about cocktail table furniture brands? Same as you mentioned? Yeah. Yes, same as I mentioned. Definitely same as I mentioned. Yeah. Ambella. Oh, Ambella. Steve wrote back to Stephanie. Okay. That was a brand. Barb is saying, thank you so much. My design fingerprint is developing and it is so helpful. So the design fingerprint is something I teach inside of Decorating Genius. It's how to take all of your Pinterest images and your house images and actually see clearly, clear as a bell, what your path forward has to be. No questions, no confusion. And you will walk into a showroom, a store, look at an online brand, and never again feel confused. It's pretty cool. So Barb, I'm glad you like it. So Barb is saying that she'd love to hear about neutral cream paint colors to try. Barb, I know I've got some written content where I do that, but I don't generally assign paint colors to people out here, so I'm sorry. If you're one of my students, you can post pictures inside the private Facebook groups, but even there, I won't pick a paint color for you because I am the coach and you are doing the work. I will talk to you about a quality of a color, but I won't give you a paint color. I don't think you'll ever build your muscle if you don't have to take the stab and make the mistakes as well as doing it the right way and picking those paint colors. So I'm being a tough teacher, but that's tough love. Sue is saying, I need to paint 75% of my new home. Still struggling to find the right white paint. Resources to suggest. Yeah, I do have a resource to suggest. I would look up a blogger, a color blogger named Maria Killam. Maria Killam, K-I-L-L-E-M. She has something all about how white is complicated. She has an online guide or mini workshop or something like that. And she curates white colors for you guys to look at and try. So that might be something that you want to think about. Maria Killam. M-A-R-I-A Killam, K-I-L-L-E-M. She's out of Canada, very talented. So hopefully that'll help you. Alrighty. And the other thing you can do is check out my online course, Decorating Genius Systems, 7 Simple Steps to Great Rooms. That is how you literally, soup to nuts, do a room, whether you're starting in the middle or starting from the beginning. It's all in that course. And it's a great community. And you can find those courses at theinteriordesignadvocate.com. That's theinteriordesignadvocate.com. All right, lovely. So 2 things I want to tell you. Thing number 1, next week we are talking about becoming a paid interior designer as a side gig or for your own full-time business. What is holding you back? So bring your questions, bring your heart and your spirit. I'll take great care of you as we talk about what is holding you back. And then I want to tell you too that when I see you next, this whole election thing hopefully will be done. And all of you sensitives out there, because if you are following me in design and you are sensitive to the way your home feels, chances are great that you are a sensitive individual. You're sensitive to the way the world feels, the world around you. You're either an HSP or an empath. Most of our followers, we find that that's pretty true about them. So I know this election cycle has been brutal. I don't care what side of the aisle you are on. Do not post anything political. I will take it down, said the Independent. No matter what side of the aisle you are on, please remember that the person in that voting booth has a right to their opinion as much as you do yours. Please remember that at the end of the day, we are all human beings. We are all design divas. We want the same things. We want to love our families, be loved by our families. We want to love our kids and be loved by our kids. We want people to be healthy. We all basically want the same thing. So no matter what happens, about half of the country is going to be really happy after this election. About half of the country is going to be devastated. As I said last time, if you're on the winning team, be gracious and just know that there are people hurting out there. So be good to the world around you with that victory. And if you are on the losing side, just know that in 4 years, there will be another election. And at the end of the day, the grass is still going to grow. The sun is still going to rise, no matter who is elected. The peanut butter and jelly sandwiches of life are still going to need to be made, and they will pull you forward. And no matter what, my arms are around you here as your sister in design, as your coach in design. I love being part of your life and the way you have touched my life with your love of design, with your joyfulness, with your fun stories, your funny stories, your before and after pictures that make me so proud, your amazing questions, your brilliant minds, and the fact that you've trusted me to whatever degree to take you on this wonderful journey. It is my joy and my pleasure that we have built this amazing community across the United States and beyond. Maybe that's the next political party, the Design Diva Party. Woohoo! All right, girls, I'll see you next Tuesday. Mwah! Hugs and kisses. Mwah! Hugs and kisses. See you next Tuesday, 4 p.m. Bye. Hi, this is Donna. Thanks so much for watching. And if you like this video, please hit the like button and comment below so I know what you think. And don't forget to subscribe to the Interior Design Advocates channel so you don't miss any of our great content.